but we're heading to that area there because that area is usually quite busy, so we're going to try and get that over and done with and then come here. Okay, so this is your coffee plant. This one with very shiny leaves with this thing called a drip tip, which allows the water to just run through. This is your coffee plant. These are your coffee fruits. But for now, we're going to head over to the biofertilizer area, which is where we get to do the biofertilizers for our crops. And then talk about that, and then come out to the coffee field and talk deeper about that.
So corn between?
Is that
Corn
corn?
between goes for our goats. So we're gonna start from the ground up. So this is where I put it into the charcoal, and then I put that around the coffee plant. And this way, this mixture doesn't get lost with the heavy rains, and I'm using my old coffee tree to grow my new coffee plants. Okay?
Is the soil like foamy?
The soil? The soil is kind of sandy. So it's kind of like thin, and if you leave it uncovered, everything just washes away. And so you'll get to see what our soils look like. We have them kind of covered always because of the heavy rains that we have here. Yes, you actually do. Okay, so we have our coffee fruits. Now let's talk about the coffee fruits. If you picked a stem, I will not pay you as much as a person without a stem. Why? Because if you're only picking stems, you're adding weight that is unnecessary. So I'm going to have a lot more weight. It's not going to be coffee, it's going to be stems. So I don't want these stems. It's a little bit easier to pick when they're all a little bit red. They'll all be a little bit more ripe. So without the stem, that is perfect. Yes, we can hire you. So, yes, very good, very wine red. Yes, you can, sorry. Yeah, you can throw that away. You get about 3 kilograms out of a bush. 3 kilograms, that is times 2. So 6 pounds, 7 pounds. Grow a little bit, and then we come and grow the coffee. So I get my coffee without my coffee bean, without the mucilage, and I just put it here. Okay?
Literally, that's how you do it right there. This is what you plant these.
Exactly. So this is what we transplant. So I take my coffee bean. It looks something like this, which is kind of empty. It's kind of rough, so it's not so slimy anymore. And I just take this and I put it here.
Why have to clean up
that we put there. Now the coffee plant is super smart because she knows at the beginning stages the root system is not going to absorb anything. It's very thin. You don't have any like fibrous roots coming off the side to absorb. So what does she do? She pumps all the nutrition that this plant needs into these 2 leaves. These 2 leaves have all the nutrition this plant needs for the beginning stages of life. Okay, and so you have them like this. Okay, they start to grow in size, and after a while we will have something that looks like this. Friends, the pivot root goes deep and holds the plant for stability. The fibrous roots stay at the top and absorb water and nutrition. When this begins to happen, when you have other leaves that look different, you know the root system is working because these leaves are not relying on these ones, they're relying on the root system. At this point, we grab the plant and we put it in a bag like these ones, these plastic production of coffee. These plants here that you guys picked coffee from are 3 years old. This is their first production. This is what a 3-year-old coffee plant looks like.
How long do you can stay?
Okay, very good question. The coffee plant produces coffee for 3 to 4 years. And then the production goes down.
Oh.
So at about 6 or 7 years old, he's not producing as well as he did in the beginning. So what do you guys think we're doing here?
How long would it take for the plant to get
Well, I think just like aesthetically, I think it's so beautiful. I see what I mean. Like,
Okay, let me see. This is a really good plant because we have a little bit more red fruits. So we're gonna do this one so you guys can get to see it up close. Okay, so this is my coffee plant. Okay, and as you can see, you have green coffee fruits, you have red coffee fruits, you have a little bit of everything. This is why we cannot pick by machine the uneven ripening that we have here. Why do we have uneven ripening? Because we have lower temperatures here, so the coffee takes a little bit longer to ripen and it has more stages too. Okay, now on the same plant you have red, you have bigger coffee fruits, green coffee fruits, and you have here flowers that are about to come out. You have a little bit of everything on the same plant. Now, before I talk about this, I'm going to ask you guys to look for a coffee fruit. Could be from this plant, could be around there. Is we prune a different way. So we come here with our machete or weed whacker and we chop it down like at knee height. Okay, remove all the branches, everything, and then leave it. 2 months later, there'll be lots of shoots, lots of branches because the plant is trying to survive. You pick the best 2 or the best 1 and you let that grow. 2 years later, this plant produces coffee again. Produces well for 3 to 4 years, then their production goes down, and then you cut it again and again and again. The Rica coffee plant is actually pollinated by wind. Principally, that's its main pollinator. But the presence of other insects increases the amount of coffee we have in the end 5 to 25%. So it's important for us to have other insects around. How do we attract them? By having other trees around that flower almost at the same time as a coffee plant. In that way, we don't have to bring in hives of bees, for example, because we already attract them to the trees we have.
Oh, I smell it. I smell something.
What?
I smell like coffee.
Really?
How don't you smell that?
I smell old rotten orange.
No, I got a whiff of.
Oh, there it is. I smell it.
Yeah, I smell it. Oh, I got the whiff of that orange.
Oh, it smells like fermentation.
Okay, yeah, this is not the smell I was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
homemade wine.
Wow.
If you come through the door, you'll have a little bit less of a smell. I know it's intense.
Coffee processing.
Oh, these are the dried ones.
Hey,
Get out of here.
sorry.
Yes, there must
Okay.
be bugs.
So, let's talk about this. This is our mini sample drying area because we don't dry our coffee here. Because we dry, before I go into that, we dry coffee because there's too much humidity in there to put it into the roasting machine. Heat it, and we get to the beans. We have 3 here. So I have 3 here, and then I leave it. Basically remove this layer. Okay. So this layer here, you kind of pound it like that.
But now you have a machine, huh?
Yes.
Oh.
You pound it like that, you wait for it to be windy, and then you kind of like sit like this, and the wind kind of blows all that chaff out, and you're left with a green bean.
Just like you throw away the, like peanut.
So everything is sun dried.
It's sun-dried, yes.
You see here, it's produced locally. So you probably saw the watermelon, the mangoes too.
Yeah, I see them. They're up at the top.
3 toucans. That's a 6-pack.
Now we see it.
Thank you.
Wow. Are they talking? They keep moving their beak.
So right now it's low tide. You see the sandbank to the far left. Also, you see behind in terms of vegetation, that is mangrove vegetation. This is a spot that back in the 1950s, it was also very popular among honeymooners. They would actually take the train and come down here for their honeymoon, spend the weekend close to the beach. At a time, of course, we didn't have this road, and it was all relying on the railroad system too. It's just quite different. Then in the same region. Whereas as you go further north, you only find certain titles down the other. But here, it's clear that at some point, humans were coming from the north to South America and leaving their traces. They were mostly hunting animals, which was probably not the main reason why these animals went extinct, but only major changes of the conditions that eventually affected their survival as well. Talking about animals like saber-toothed cats, which are cats made really the other day, they used to have pouch, pretty much like it was so here. They're not totally or fully related to the large cats we have today, though, but very similar characteristics to the giant armadillos. That's another one. Or the sloths, which you did three-toed sloths. We have giant sloths that were standing up 12 feet tall, that they were herbivores. And the remaining of that species, the three-toed sloth in the trees, they're also they would eventually their populations disappear. Now they just see all the animals as well. Some of the animals we still have that are reminders of what we used to have in terms of animals.
Stein. Diese Flussung ist da so ein Stein. Würdest du haben, dass es Koreos sind? Hat jemand Stein angemalt?
They have demolished, they were in burial spaces. And for years, there were certain